Hello, good morning, welcome in. Thank you so much for joining me today. I always appreciate your time and energy. I'm Deborah, this is Purusha Intuitive, and we're looking at the daily energy, so welcome in. We do a little astrology, some tarot readings, some oracle readings, all that fun jazz. So I hope you enjoy. I hope you find messages that resonate here. If you don't, no worries, right? Just don't pick up what's not meant for you or doesn't resonate. I like to cleanse, clear the energy beforehand, just to get all the hubbub out, the things that really don't serve us. That's the theme lately. Makes a lot of sense as we're wrapping up the year. I hope all is going well for you in terms of getting things together, preparing for the holidays, but then having some fun as well. Cleanse. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I cleanse all that doesn't serve us. Please leave room for the highest and best messages for our heart, our mind, and our soul today. All right, so definitely the astrology is, you know, we're in like this reshuffling period. That's what I kept hearing as I was preparing for this morning's messages. You know, where there are some tense aspects, but there's some really enjoyable things as well, you know, and I think that kind of, as I was saying, it goes with the theme of the holidays. We all get excited. There's a lot of fun things, you know, to anticipate and partake in. But then there's people, places, and things we don't want to be obligated to, right? We don't want to be put in the middle of. And those are the situations that we're quote unquote working through right now. You know, it doesn't mean we have to have a sit-down conversation with every person we don't like. It's not the time to do that unless this is someone who is important to you. Mercury is in retrograde right now, so it's a good time to clean up old energies, right? Especially when it comes to communication and how we think, how we feel. The South Node just popped out. The South Node is in Libra right now. Libra does govern our partnerships, our relationships. And the South Node is like comfort behavior. It's default patterning. It's things that without even being conscious or aware of it, we kind of revert back to. And in an astrology chart, the nodes, the North and South Node, like the karma, or South Node's what we bring into this life, the karma we have to work through. And the North Node is what our life path, what we're trying to move towards, the lessons, the growth, to overcome those challenges and struggle. And with that South Node, in Libra, like I said, especially in our relationships, it's easy to assume or think the worst. Maybe we're not feeling very good about ourselves and we're afraid, you know, because this is also a time of like people who aren't super mature, the naysayers, people who don't have that awareness, etc., where they kind of pop up and are running their mouth, are, you know, trying to throw us off course, for lack of a better phrase. We have the main aspects today are really positive, which is nice in the astrology. The moon is trine to Venus, so harmonious aspect. Venus is in Scorpio right now, so it's really attaching to what we love, what we desire, the way we can nurture and support ourselves in those desires. You know, Venus is also in opposition to Uranus. So there is this tendency, to like rebel or to, you know, fight for the little man, fight for yourself, fight for your own mission, so to speak. And some people are going to hear that, receive that, some people won't. But we're feeling good about it today, better than maybe what we've been feeling in a few days. it doesn't mean that we're given the green light, the go ahead to make stuff happen. And that's kind of where that tension and that rub is coming in. The moon is square to Mars. So Venus allows us to love, nurture, support ourselves. Mars is that masculine action energy where we like take it out into the world and make it happen. And with the moon square to Mars, it's talking about how, again, just that confirmation that we're not loving how things are looking or making us feel. We would appreciate some more accolades, some more support, validation, double thumbs up. We'll do double thumbs. I'll put this deck down. And so it's making the things that we do have to change, overcome, a little bit more difficult. All right, so let's get into the cards. Okay, so the 11th house, I like this. Actually, the 11th house, well, not this card specifically, but we were talking about the 11th house yesterday. In the beginning of the year, Pluto is going to be moving into Aquarius, which governs the 11th house. It's also ruled by Uranus, which is currently in retrograde right now. But it is, like I said, it's that concept of fighting for the little man, the revolutionary. It also governs like our community, what's around us, our hopes, our utopia, what we idealize in this life, what we hope and wish we can fulfill. So it's this energy of like broadening your horizons, I really feel, especially when it comes to community and what you're doing. Second house is money, possessions with Taurus energy. So making sure that we're doing it from a grounded place. This is not to leave certain people who have been supportive high and dry. I don't get that vibe. I feel like we still want to be in our surroundings, in our material environment, putting time, effort, and work towards it, which I know it's hard because we're kind of like in the final week before celebrations begin, unless you celebrated Hanukkah. Happy Hanukkah. Lots of house placements today. So the first house, second house, 11th house. First house is our self, it's our identity. Second house is our money, our possessions, our, immediate internal environment, so to speak. And like I said, that 11th house is about partnership and community. Okay, interesting. So I love this. I love when it comes out this way. We have 11th, 12th house, first and second house. So it's that corner. If you're familiar with the natal charts, it's like the left-hand corner, so to speak, depending on your house placements are, I should say. But this, to me, it really talks about that battle between who we are, how we show up in our life in terms of our material world, how we bring in money, our home, our family, our finances, etc., and who we are as individuals with that first house placement. But then there's also this need to connect with what we desire, what we want, what we aspire, how to make the world a better place. Even if you don't have these large goals of changing the world or taking over the world, I should say, there is still this value of like wanting to leave it a little bit better than we found it. This is a very controversial topic nowadays, right? Because there's so much going on when it comes to our planet, our resources, people, there's a lot, right? So, but what I do love, and Ayurveda talks about this, is like when we pursue our own dharma, when we are pursuing our own life path, it's actually a trickling effect to everyone around us. So there is value in, again, and I think that it really nicely intertwines with what the messages have been lately, just around not letting the naysayers get us down, not letting the negative energy pull us back into low vibey behavior, needing to rise above. And in order to do that, we really do have to have a strong foundation within ourselves. That's how we kind of get through the things that are a little bit more triggering or trying to throw us off course, or it's that carrot. It's the proverbial dangling carrot, right? When something gets put in front of us that we're like, ooh, I like that. It's the forbidden fruit. I don't think it was a carrot though. They claim it was an apple, right? Okay. Okay, so Seven of Pentacles, this is the waiting game. We've been seeing this energy a lot. You know, what I do love is, even though she's kind of like waiting on her rewards, the seed she's planted, whatever goals she has in place, she's not really paying attention. You know, it's like, I'm hearing that like, watching the I don't remember. Now that I'm saying it, I don't remember the phrase. But watching the pot boil, right? It takes forever when you watch it. And so I feel like our energy today is a lot about, again, that valid, or the confirmation of rising above, and not being so fixated and focused on what you're growing, knowing that the work is happening between the, you know, in the in-between time, the things that we can't really pay attention to or be proactive about, we're getting that helping hand from the universe, spirit, God, however you understand it, angels, guides, crossed over loved ones, etc. I feel like there is this reality today that it's going to take time. This might be a little bit daunting for some of us, because I feel, especially this last year has been pretty heavy. So I feel like we're kind of losing some exhaustion, or like we're getting a little exhausted. There is this energy of like, I just want to address this later. I don't really want to deal with this quite now, etc. So be really conscious and mindful that, like, you know, you're not becoming too apathetic. Or giving up. Like this is the energy saying like, I want to give up because this is feeling overwhelming, but this is not the time to give up. Like I said, like, it's having the faith, having the trust that what you have planted, what you have built, it is coming in. Such a beautiful energy with the sun. You are shining bright right now. Like, receive it. You know, receive it, enjoy it, feel strong, feel empowered. You know, let that light shine. I think that there is a lot of abundance coming in. King of Pentacles, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. You could have placements in any one of those signs. You could have a lot of earth energy in your chart. But this is also that vibe of like stepping into that abundance, really kind of like managing your life, your finances, your home, your environment, like we saw with that first and specifically the second house, right? The King of Pentacles keeps it all in check. He is like the patriarch of his family. It doesn't mean that you have to be the patriarch or that you have to be a man. You know, it's just the masculine energy. But he also puts in the work. He puts in the work in order to make things happen. And he's strong. With that Capricorn vibe, he has the capacity to make it happen. But we need to dip into that strength today. I feel like action-oriented. We do have some action. I feel like it's like putting action in the right spaces today is what I'm hearing. This is not about exhausting yourself, about trying to plug in and wrap everything up before the end of the year. This is more about like dealing with what's immediately in front of you and using your intuition in order to kind of like step in the right way, so to speak, right? Take the right path. Don't get glitzed and glamored into something that, you know, it's too, what was I hearing? Like, if it's too good to be true, it probably is, right? Oh, I was hearing that get rich quick scheme. Be conscious, be mindful. That's a message for someone. You know, don't give anyone your bank account information, right? Okay, so 5 of Wands. So there is still some resistance. There's conflict within ourselves, conflict in our environment as well. That is that low vibey energy that I was talking about earlier that can easily bring us back into this space of like questioning our worth, our value. We need to be a little bit more diplomatic. Justice energy ruled by Libra. weighing of the scales, the pros and the cons, knowing when to exercise that sort of truth, wisdom, intellect, and knowing when to give grace or understanding. And, Libra, it's air energy, so it's more intellectual. It's not really basing things off of feeling and emotion. And we need to be really conscious of that. Venus energy easily takes us into this place of like feeling responsible, or we have to make someone else feel better because it's hard for them. Really stay away from that energy of appeasement today. Trying to see everything, like I said, with that bird's eye perspective. You definitely have this strong energy coming in today, like in a good way. I feel like you're vibrant, you're shining bright, you feel good, you feel confident. And don't be afraid of that is what I'm hearing. There is this energy of people, like I said, wanting to make you feel small, wanting to make you feel like you don't deserve. And you know exactly who those people are. And sometimes when we get into, a situation where we have to deal with them, it's easy to push ourselves down or not let our light shine so bright. Don't do that today, right? Yeah, Ace of Cups. There we go. Love relationship, new blessings. This doesn't have to be love if you're already romantically matched. This can also be a rebirth of your relationship. But we have been getting this message lately where something is coming in for you. It's going to make you feel happy and content and fulfilled. Like there's going to be a lot of like, I feel like it's your pat on the back, or it might not be exactly what you're wishing for, but it's getting you to that place. And it feels like it's a big gift, so to speak. It's something that really helps keep the energy moving and in a big way, in that way that you can feel that confirmation from spirit that this is where you need to go. And it's also giving us the drive to let go of the BS, right? The drive to let go of the toxicity. Princess of Wands. Okay, yeah. It's, I feel like it's getting us out of our own hermit mode. It's getting us out of our shell. That's what I was looking for. I was going to say cages, but I was like, that doesn't sound right. Yeah, so this energy, it's forcing us, as we're learning, as we're growing, as we can identify, this is not for me, this makes me feel small or low, or I don't really want to be a part of this. As we continue to identify those things, we find this energy of like, okay, well, let me see what else is out there. Let's explore. Let's put ourselves out there a little bit more. Let me allow like my fabulousness to be seen, to be heard, and perhaps understood by those who want to support us, right? So we have to be willing to do that. I do feel, like I said, there is this overall theme for you today where it's like you're not really paying attention to the low vibey energies, but they're still around. They're still circulating. We got that message over the weekend. We still have to be conscious, and it is putting a lot of stress. I feel like there's a little bit more to push through towards the end of the year. Keep focused and diligent to the best of your ability. I know that's not a fun message, especially as we are moving forward, but it's helping us hammer out some of the nitty gritty, right? Like anytime something comes up to trigger us, it's an opportunity for us to look at it and say like, okay, well, what is out of balance right now? Why don't I feel good enough? Why don't I feel like I can have this thing? We all are amazing and fabulous, and we deserve, even if, I don't know, even if we feel like that's not true, the whole point of all of this, right, is to be able to connect with that part of you that knows your power, that knows your worth, that's not afraid to put your authentic self out front and center, which is not the easiest thing to do. It does take a lot of courage, self-worth, confirmation on that. We really need to make sure that we're deserving. A great way to do this, is just reminding yourself of all of the things that you have accomplished, that you have gone through and overcome. Excuse me, I have a little bit of congestion this morning, but I really like doing this, especially when I can feel that energy trying to suck me back into the old or put time into things I don't really want to think about, etc. It's starting to list off, well, I did this. I'm so proud of myself because. Just fill in that blank. Why are you amazing? Because you're unique. Everyone has their own beauty, their own brand, so to speak. The golden crown really confirms that. Stepping into that power and not being afraid of it. As soon as you do, this is going to change, right? It's going to change the cycle. I think, obviously, we're all headed in a direction where, eventually we'll get what we're asking for, what we're manifesting. But we can do it a little bit quicker when we release, when we let go of the blocks, right? And that means in the practical world, staying away from those energies that are trying to bring you down, that you don't feel supportive. They don't even have to be like a bad person, so to speak, but maybe it just doesn't make you feel amazing, And I feel like this energy of being compassionate towards ourselves, towards what we want, what we desire, but not letting, not letting other people's agendas get in the way of that. I definitely feel like we have to invest more in ourselves right now. So it is going back to that original channeled message so it can trickle out to the world. And like I said, I feel like today, it is the day of Mars. Usually this is a very action-oriented fire energy where we can make things happen. And that is great when the energy is right. I feel like this is more about identifying yourself, what your wants, needs, and goals are, what you're passionate about, what makes you feel good, thinking about how you can implement that into your daily routine a little bit more. And that's where the action step is taken from. It's not specifically about pushing the energy forward. Jupiter is still in retrograde. That is our larger fortune, our abundance. It's the way we call things in, but it's in retrograde in Taurus. So we really have to focus on what we have, what is in front of us first. And build that strong foundation. Building that strong foundation obviously is all about how we take care of ourselves. Self-love, self-care, mind, body, soul. Are we doing those things? Really take some inventory in your daily routine. How are you showing up for yourselves? Are you giving yourself that time, that space, that validation, the compassion, so that you can feel I'm just going to pull them all up. No. So that you can feel your worth and your value and what you're here to do, right? 333 is on the clock. It's all about not only working with ourselves, but working with our environment, working with those that surround us in order to be that best version. But we have to let people see that light, right? We have to let people see and experience our magnificence, or else, no one's gonna know. And that would be sad. So sad. So sad. All right, friends. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I hope you have found messages here. I hope you have a fabulous Tuesday. I always appreciate your time and energy. Sending all the love and blessings always.